Hey guys, welcome to the channel and another video. Today I'm going to be watching Crimson Tide by Tony Scott, starring Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman. The late Tony Scott was a fantastic director and I'm a big fan of his work. I've watched a bunch of his film over the years, including True Romance on the channel, so do check that out when you have the time. As you guys already know, I'm also a huge fan of both Hackman and Washington. I know I call Gene Hackman's name as Hackman. It's a South Park thing. They did an episode a couple of years ago repeatedly calling him Hackman, and something in my brain changed and I just call him Hackman now. So please excuse that. About Crimson Tide, I know that it's a submarine thriller and it's set around the Cold War era, I think. I recently watched The Hunt for Red October on the channel, which I loved. So I wanted to watch another good submarine movie. I'm well aware that I still haven't watched Das Boot. I got so many recommendations for that film after The Hunt for Red October. I promise I'll get to it eventually. I don't know anything about the plot of this film, but I know the combination of Tony Scott, Denzel, Washington, and Gene Hackman. It should be something special. But before we get into it, to help support the channel, I have a Patreon page for full-length reviews and reactions to this film and over 120 movies and TV shows, early access, and weekly polls for what to watch next. You'll need your own copy to watch along. The link's in the description below, by the way. Please consider being a patron. Please subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon for instant notifications. Do check out my other videos. Like if you liked this video, dislike it if you didn't. With all that being said, let's get started. Crimson Tide, Scott, Washington, Hackman. Let's go. Denzel Washington, Gene Hackman, the captain of a U.S. nuclear submarine. Oh, okay, so because they have launch authority.
6 days ago, as the rebellion in Chechnya spread to the neighboring Caucasus republics.
This film is set after the Cold War in the early 90s because the Chechnya conflict was in the early or mid 90s.
Denounced the U.S. pressure as an act of war against the Russian Republic and Russian sovereignty.
Okay, I get it. Crimson Tide.
The threats come as a response to the United States' involvement in Chechnya and are not considered idle.
The stage is already set. Music by Hans Zimmer. The first 5 minutes establish the conflict. It established Denzel Washington's character as a family man. A lot of exposition.
5 patrols on fast attacks, 2 on boomers. I talked to your former CO. He tells me he tried to adopt you. What's the best horse you ever rode?
Arabian, sir.
An Arabian. Jack Russell's smartest dogs alive. Welcome aboard the Alabama, son. Do me proud.
I will, sir.
I think he just got chosen as the XO.
Now, I've heard people talk, but I don't think this man's talking just to get his picture in the paper. And I think he's capable of doing every damn thing he says he's going to do. That's why we have to go out there and give the man a moment of pause.
They claim that Roshenko forces do not possess the launch codes.
But if Roshenko were to crack them, they could launch against our West Coast direct.
The Navy looks the other way because he's Ramsey.
The Navy looks the other way because he's one of the few skippers left who've actually seen some combat.
Oh.
Is he gonna fit in the sub?
Doubtful.
I'm worried about T.
Oh, yeah, he's a family man through and through.
I love you, Dad.
I love you too, son.
Yeah, just makes it more relatable, this scene. Important to the story.
See you in my dreams. Give me a kiss.
That's a goodbye.
We're capable of launching more firepower than has ever been released in the history of war. And all I ask is that you keep up with me. And what is that name, Mr. Cobb?
Alabama, sir.
And what do we say? Go, Bama! Roll Tide!
They're highly motivated and ready for duty. This artificial rain here, it's really convincing because Tony Scott is showing a very wide angle.
My last breath of polluted air for the next 65 days. Gonna miss it. If I don't trust air I can't see.
What an old school Navy man.
If you want your own boat someday, the very worst thing you can do is worry about yourself or try to impress me. You keep your priorities straight, your mission and your men.
I respect that. I really respect that.
Take her down, aye, sir.
I think this is a scale model, but it's very well made.
You think it was a mistake, Mr. Hunter?
Sir?
Using the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki?
That's a moral question.
Well, if I thought that, sir, I wouldn't be here.
Somebody asked me if we should have bombed Japan. A simple yes. By all means, sir. Drop that fucker. Twice. All I had to know is how to push it. They'd tell me when. They seem to want you to know why.
I just think that in the nuclear world, the true enemy can't be destroyed. In the nuclear world, the true enemy is war itself.
This was a very important scene to set up these two men and show that their fundamental views are different. I think their personalities will clash because Tony Scott is taking a lot of time to show these men individually. Things are way too happy now, so something must go bad very fast.
Attention all hands. The fire has been contained. This is the captain. This is an exercise.
Second edition, 1SQ for WSRT. This is the XO. This is an exercise.
Captain, that fire in the galley could still
Now's
flare.
not the time. Make your depth 150 feet.
The first sign of animosity.
It's okay, Chief.
It happens, I guess. But it's unfortunate. I love the dog.
Do you think I was wrong to run that drill?
Not necessarily, sir.
Do you think I got that man killed?
It was an accident.
Would you have run the drill?
No, sir, I would not.
Why not?
The fire in the galley could have flared back up. I would have seen to it first, sir.
I'm sure you would have. In a missile drill, they hear your voice right after mine, without hesitation. We're here to preserve democracy, not to practice it.
Oh, what a line.
It was Marichek's 300 pounds that killed him, not the fire.
In case I haven't said it before, I love submarine sets, and this one is not disappointing at all.
A fire is a serious threat to the ship. Now, where was he? Why didn't he check it out first, huh?
That's his style. Navy and that little rat dog is. That's why his wife left him.
Ah. They're still well on their way. DEFCON 3, that's all I saw. Holy crap.
The last time we hit this state of emergency was 32 and a half years ago during the Cuban Missile Crisis.
It seems clear that our friends in the Pentagon are setting us up for a potential preemptive strike.
The weight of reality is hitting the crew now. Another 4 days have passed. Okay.
I'm sorry, sir. It's just a difference of opinion that got out of hand.
I know this actor. I've seen him before.
I said that the Kirby Silver Surfer was the only real Silver Surfer, and that the Mobius Silver Surfer was shit.
Well, Jack Kirby's version was very good.
You have to set an example even in the face of stupidity. Now, everybody that reads comic books knows that Kirby Silver Surfer is the only true Silver Surfer. Now, am I right or wrong?
You're right, sir.
Jack Kirby was a legendary comic book writer. I'm a big fan of his.
Test results from the missile drill.
It's the best they can do. Who feels he can't handle this situation can leave the ship right now. Gentlemen, we're at DEFCON 3. War is imminent.
He is a hard ass, but he does have a point. They're both being sarcastic and condescending towards each other, but in a very subtle way. This is great writing. I hear a pinging.
You find out who that is.
Aye, sir.
The music of the film and the editing itself, they're very good. I'm having no troubles in following the plot whatsoever.
Sir, request permission to authenticate.
Permission granted, authenticate. This is not a drill.
The responsibility is weighing heavily on Hunter,
Second edition, 1SQ for strategic missile launch.
but he's doing his job.
Sir, the Master 2-8 is classified as a Russian Akula-class hunter-killer.
Akura class hunter killer. Well-made submarine films are so tense because they're stuck in an enclosed environment. Anything can happen. I love the use of color in these scenes.
Con weapons, missile systems ready to launch in 11 minutes.
We
got a limited radio transmission indicating an incoming EAM.
He's now green.
Captain? May I suggest that we float the buoy, sir? We have enough cable.
Con sonar, we have a sound short from the buoy winch.
Got the goddamn winch.
I didn't quite follow what just happened.
Soup, he's coming around. Con sonar, the Akula's turning towards sir. Con sonar,
Holy crap. They're under attack. Jeez. I don't think the evasive maneuvering is working.
Watch your countermeasures.
They missed!
You all right, son?
Yes, sir. We lost it when the radio buoy cable got severed.
Oh, nuclear missile launch. And that's where it ended. Oh man, this is going to create tension between the captain and his XO.
That's a message fragment.
Because it got cut off during the attack, so the message can mean anything. It can be a message to a board, it can be messages
It could be a fake Russian transmission.
Which is exactly why we need to confirm, sir.
Every second that we lose increases the chances that by the time our missiles arrive...
Now, it's our duty not to launch until we can confirm.
Mr. Hunter, I've made a decision. I'm captain of this boat. Now shut the fuck up!
Damn. Now he's being lit more in red than blue.
Captain, I cannot concur.
Repeat my command.
Sir, we don't know what this message means.
Cobb, remove Mr. Hunter from the control room.
Governing the release of nuclear weapons, we cannot launch our missiles unless both you and I agree.
Cobb,
Now,
what are you
this is not
waiting
a
for?
formality, sir. This is
Holy crap.
Cobb!
Captain, please, the XO is right. We can't launch unless he concurs.
They are complete odds.
We don't have time to fuck around!
Sir, I think you need time to think this over.
I don't have to think this over.
Captain, I relieve you of your command of this ship.
Oh man.
lock him in his stateroom.
Captain, please.
Now, Cobb!
Aye, sir.
They're being framed in green. That means they're probably neutral. But holy crap! They're listening to Hunter.
You're way out of your league, Hunter. You're not ready to make tough decisions yet.
The hell are we waiting for?
The use of lighting is absolutely fantastic, and that's really catching my eye.
It is my intention to delay the missile launch.
Gandolfini is being framed in red, so he doesn't agree with this. Oh man, the situation is going to escalate.
Thank you, Cobb.
Thank you. Fuck you. I can't just replace you at will. That was completely improper. And that's why I did what I did. By the book.
Two more.
Khan, let me know when our range to that cooler is open to 1,000 yards.
Con, sonar, aye, sir.
God damn it, let's just shoot this fucker. What's 1,000 yards for?
They passed the stern and we're too close to arms, sir.
That was way too close for comfort.
Snapshot 2 and 4.
Snapshot 2 and 4. 2 fired electrically, sir.
Now.
Torpedoes armed, sir.
Do they hit? Oh! This is amazing. That explosion was convincing as heck.
They must have got one off before they got hit, sir.
Right full rudder, launch starboard countermeasure.
They celebrated too early. Holy crap. I saw the missile explode behind the sub. Dude, what is happening?
Still straight. We got out of control, buddy. Con, maneuvering. We've lost propulsion, sir.
And they've lost propulsion. What do they do? Now you're in control, Hunter. You better do something. I think yellow is meant to represent uncertainty.
Sir, if we don't seal the bilge bay now, we'll lose the ship.
Come on, you gotta come!
He has no choice.
Bilge Bay, Khan, seal that bay. You have your orders. Now seal a goddamn bay before we all go down.
Oh man. They don't have time. They have to sacrifice these men. This is what they signed up for, man. They quite literally sealed their fate with that.
Motion limit ahead full, sir.
Well, it's not a happy moment though. They just lost a lot of men.
Sorry, sir. The XO ordered
Fuck
us.
the XO.
I knew it. He was framed in red earlier, so you know he's with the captain. And he's listened to classical music.
As quietly as you can. You get to Mr. Zimmer and Mr. Westergaard.
Alright, he's forming his own crew. Look at the red. I'm sorry I'm repeating myself, but it's all there.
He has proper orders. He won't act on them. He's in command now.
Rodchenko is fueling his burst. Now, why do you think he's doing that? Why? You don't put on a condom unless you're gonna fuck.
He specifically asked for you. He says we cannot go without you.
All you people return to your stations!
These are the keys to the entire submarine. You know what's going on here?
Yes, sir.
No, I don't think you do. Let me explain it to you. If we launch and we're wrong, what's left of Russia is going to launch at us.
Belay that order!
The music is speaking for a reason, right?
Take him away. Lock him up in the officer's mess.
Yeah, he feels guilty about betraying his friend, but he's doing what he thinks is right.
Russian missiles will have launch capability in 15 minutes.
Set condition 1SQ.
They're activating the missiles again. He's conflicted. He's still conflicted. That's a good thing.
If the Russians are going to launch and we sit here and do nothing, who's going to stop them? Half of him, he's glad the captain came back. He could be right, you know.
No orders are valid, Cobb, if they're wrong.
We don't know if they're wrong.
That's true. We don't know.
Both of these men, they have a point.
Mr. Ravetti, I'm impressed.
I never liked him, sir.
Webs, listen, don't do this. Don't do this. Once you launch, they cannot come back. They cannot come back, Webs, and you know the repercussions if we're wrong, goddammit.
He's more red than blue.
You're the only one that knows the combination. It's up to you, Webs. Are you calm?
Yeah, sort of.
Get the radio fixed, Bosley. I could have built one by now. How long was it going to take you?
I don't know.
Don't say I don't know.
Missiles are ready for launch, sir.
Very well. Unlock the tactical firing trigger.
What are you going to do, Webs?
No one is to touch this key. I'm gonna launch from missile control.
Aye, sir.
Grenades!
Now he's framed in green.
I can't do that, sir.
All three colors. Red, green, and blue.
Sir! Fire control ready?
Aye, sir.
Launcher ready!
Aye, sir.
Drop the weapon now!
Sir, the captain's key has been removed.
Hunter.
Con radio, sir, I think she's breathing. We're getting close.
Give him a missile key.
Damn.
You got 3 minutes, Fossler. You got 3 minutes. Speaking of horses, did you ever see those Lipizzan stallions?
Talking about horses?
They're not from Portugal. They're from Spain. And at birth, they're not white. They're black.
Interesting.
Sir.
Their training program is simplicity itself. You just stick a cattle prod up their ass and you can get a horse to deal cards.
That's how he thinks the military should work.
God help you if you're wrong.
If I'm wrong, then we're at war. God help us all.
Message is authentic, Captain.
I concur, sir.
Terminate launch, all missiles.
Ah. Oh man. And they're celebrating like there's no tomorrow, and they should be.
Mr. Hunter has the con.
Wow. What a big man just to relinquish command like that after he's been proven wrong. I have nothing but respect for him too. Unconditional surrender of all Russian rebel military forces. Oh. Both men did what they thought was right. And I can see the argument going both ways.
Russian army forces moved in and met surprisingly little resistance. And the nuclear base captured by Rodchenko is now back in government hands.
Pearl Harbor. Oh, it's a tribunal.
I'm prepared to make my recommendations to SubPac.
Without my testimony, sir?
You have a problem with that?
I might, sir.
I have known Captain Ramsey for almost 30 years. If he is lying, this will be the first I've heard of it. In this instance, the system failed because the two senior officers did not work to resolve their differences while preserving the chain of command. You were both right. And you were also both wrong. For the record, that your actions aboard the Alabama were consistent with the best traditions of the Navy and in the interests of the United States. Captain Ramsey's request that Lieutenant Commander Hunter be given his next command at the earliest possible convenience.
Wow!
Just want to say thank you.
You were right and I was wrong. About the horses, the Lippenzahner's. They are from Spain, not Portugal.
Oh, that was a double meaning. He's talking about the horses and his decision to launch the missiles. And excellent music by Hans Zimmer. As of January 1906, primary authority and the ability to fire nuclear missiles will no longer rest with the U.S. submarine commander's principal control will reside with the President of the United States. Wow! Is that true? Let me know in the comments. This was a fantastic film, guys. Thank you for the recommendation. Okay, I took some time to collect my thoughts. First off, that was such a good film, filled with great writing and tension. I just watched The Hunt for Red October on the channel recently, and while I feel like both films were great, The Red October was a little better, but that too just by the thinnest of margins. This film had great writing, performances, top-tier cinematography, editing, and music. The only criticism that I can think from the top of my head is not really a criticism, but an issue. I feel like the last scene with the tribunal was not really necessary. Don't get me wrong, it was a great scene to re-establish the mutual respect that the men had with each other. But I think the film would have been better off without it. Hear me out. It felt like Tony Scott was spoon-feeding the audience a little by reiterating the fact that both men were right and wrong at the same time. I came to the same conclusion, but I came to the conclusion through the great storytelling and writing. But by repeating the fact to the audience, it made it a little too obvious, I think. In my opinion, that should have been left ambiguous, and the audience should have been given the opportunity to make up their own minds, or at least come to their own conclusion, if that makes any sense. What are your thoughts on the matter? I'd love to hear your opinions on this, so please leave them down in the comments below. Anyways, let's get started with the directing by Tony Scott and the writing by Michael Schiffer. Both the writer and the director start the story off by introducing the conflict immediately. They waste no time in establishing the two main characters. Hunter was shown to be a family man, and Ramsey was shown to be a dedicated military officer with a dog. I love that dog. Once aboard the Alabama, their personalities and ideals are shown to be different. Hunter with a lot of education and little experience, whereas Ramsey with a lifetime of experience at sea and a wealth of knowledge in naval warfare. Their personalities clash a few more times before they receive their first orders to arm the nuclear missiles. Although reluctant, Hunter follows his order to a point where another message gets cut off halfway through the transmission. At this point, both men are completely at odds at each other, and the real conflict begins. The story itself was excellently written, filled with tension and suspense. I wasn't sure at any given point what was going to happen next. The back and forth between Ramsey and Hunter was captivating to watch, as both men were right and their actions were backed up by reason and evidence. I really wish I could pick a side, but I can't. The film was structured in such a way that both men were right and wrong at the same time. It was clear that both of them were patriots and wanted the best for their country. I think my constant change in morality was a sign of the great writing here. I've already mentioned my thoughts on the ending, so moving on to the cinematography, which was just top tier. Everything from the close-up shots to the underwater shots of the subs, to the off-angle camera work and the lighting, it was fantastic. especially the use of color to signify how someone was feeling or their shifting alliances or allegiances. Blue was used to represent peace, red was for war, green was for neutrality, and yellow for chaos. The way Tony Scott mixed these colors to show the merging and changing emotions, that was so good that certain scenes didn't need dialogue at all. I could just tell what the characters were thinking based on how they were lit. Wow, this is a sign of a confident director who knows exactly what they're doing. The editing work here was also excellent, with the editor showing both sides to the conflict evenly. And I have to commend how well the scenes transitioned and switched back and forth. The pacing was great too. At 1 hour 55 minutes, the film was paced perfectly, and I wouldn't change almost anything in the editing work. The music, it was by now legendary composer Hans Zimmer. I'm a huge fan of his body of work, and he did not disappoint here. His score was filled with orchestral sounds mixed with heavy synthesizers to create an atmosphere of epicness and scale. Furthermore, the music itself had a relatively dark tone filled with dread, reflecting the state of mind of the seamen. The sound design itself was great too, with the sounds of the sub, the ocean, the machinery, and the missiles. The imperfections in the pinging noises sounded very authentic, since I don't believe that they were digital signals but analog, which do in fact have imperfections in them. Great work in this department. The sets of the film, they were very well made, and they did not look out of place at all. I did feel a sense of claustrophobia and the sense that they were operating under extreme pressure and duress. The set design had a lot to do with that. Denzel Washington played Hunter. He was very good in his role. Although Hunter was shown to be a family man in the beginning, his initial demeanor on the Alabama seemed a bit stiff. But I think I understand that now. He was single-mindedly focused on his mission the moment he stepped on that sub. He played his character with confidence and conviction. I wouldn't call this Washington's best performance or anything, but he was great, and his on-screen chemistry with Ramsey was the highlight of the film for me. And speaking of Ramsey, he was played by none other than Gene Hackman. In my opinion, he had the best performance of the film. He portrayed the seasoned captain so well that I almost forgot that I was watching him in a role. Hackman is one of those actors that can play a hero, a villain, or anything in between, like Pacino or De Niro. A legend. By the end of the film, I had nothing but respect for Hackman's character, as it takes a big man to admit his mistakes, and even bigger man to recognize Hunter's capabilities and recommend him for his own sub in this case. Excellent stuff. I have no outright criticisms of the film except the last 5 minutes. Please leave your thoughts on that below. Overall, Crimson Tide was a tension-filled thriller film with excellent writing, acting. By that I mean the chemistry between Washington and Hackman, the cinematography, music, and editing. During the movie, I could not, and even after the film, I still cannot choose a side. Both men were right at the same time. There are no two ways about it. Moral dilemma films like this are pretty infrequent, and the good ones, like Crimson Tide, they are even more rare. I highly recommend this thriller to everyone. If you have any other recommendations for films like this that deals with morality, please let me know. Anyways, thank you for watching. I have a Patreon page. Consider being a patron. Subscribe to the channel. Do check out my other videos. Click that bell icon for instant notifications. Like if you liked this video. Dislike it if you didn't. I will see you in the next one. Bye.